All right, what's going on, guys? My name is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. We are out here on one of my favorite trails that I like to call Risk, because at one point we end up climbing along the edge of that cliff up there. And today we're going to be doing it with my new Axial Capra kit that I put together. So let's bring it up here and I'll show you guys what this car is all about. Pretty excited to have this one out on the rocks. I'm thinking this is going to be the wheel and tire setup for this car, but I'm trying them on different cars as well, so whichever one they perform best on is what it's going to stick with. I did paint these on. Those are not stickers. That is a painted tiger stripe, and you can kind of see they're all angled in the same direction. But no roof panel because I messed up the paint job on that, but it kind of looks cool just as a cage anyway. The big difference between this and a stock Capra out of the kit is going to be the flat skid that I put on there, and as well, it is a UC Fab flat skid with 3-gear transmission adapter. So I'm running the 3-gear transmission from Axial in this car. So with the 3-gear transmission, it adds a ton of gearing reduction compared to the stock Capra transmission. I have not installed a dig unit on this one because this is the silver case. I would like to try and track down one of like the old AX10 transmissions that have the adaptability to the Vanquish Hertz dig unit. A little bit of wheel speed there. If you guys are curious what power system I've got in it, it is an AXE 2800 kV. The separate motor in ESC, it is not the Fusion. But with this much gearing reduction, you kind of need a fast motor to kind of bring it to life. I tried a 1200 kV in here, and it was way too slow. It's got the SSD steel wheels with scale beadlock hardware on there. I really like these wheels. For the price point on them, they're pretty killer. They are the BFG Predator compound crawlers with single stage foams. I usually struggle to get anything up this ledge. Well, she got it done. That's not an easy line. So pretty excited to have another Capra in the stable, especially one with a brushless system in it. It always makes them fun. And then up front on steering duties, we've got a Savox 1230 servo. So just a solid servo. I've never had an issue with the 1230. The only time I killed one was because I took one swimming in a river, and they're not built for that, so I don't recommend it. Oh yeah, look at those tires wrinkle up. And then if you're wondering why it's painted like tiger striped, I don't really know. I guess one of the reasons that I went with the kind of crazy off-the-wall paint scheme is I've done a couple simple two-tone paint jobs with like different stripes to try and follow the body lines or whatever. And I kind of just wanted something that was a little more unique than that. Just something a little more off the wall. I had some bright orange, and then I had these, they're stripes that I used to try and paint one of my rifles in a camo pattern. Kind of camo-ish, not really like believing that it would make it disappear, just kind of for the look of it. And so I used them to kind of do a tiger stripe scheme on the Capra. As you can see, this AXE system just makes this thing crawl so nice and controlled. These tires are very soft, and they work, I feel like they're going to work well with a lightweight car. This Capra has no weights in it. I just have one strip of stick-on wheel weights around the beadlock rings. That's not good. Here we go, come on. Need you to hook up, car. It's one of my favorite spots on this trail. I call it the toilet bowl. Now you gotta get out on this cliff edge, and then it's a vertical limit challenge. You gotta see if your car can handle the vertical. You might need a little momentum on this. Oh dear. I think it's gonna stick. I think it's got it. That UC Fab flat skid coming in handy there. We got it done. Never even had to touch it. I'm gonna run right through the area on Risk that's the scariest part. Everybody likes to freak out when you drive through here. I love taking the guys who've never been on this trail before and scaring them by putting their rigs right on the edge. But it's pretty amazing what these cars can handle. Just like that, they drive right on through. Now this obstacle I consider to be for buggies only, or extremely capable vehicles. So I've seen quite a few cars get denied on this obstacle, including some Capras. So we're gonna see if this one's up to the task. The key here is that bottom right tire. Try and wiggle the front over just a little bit. The car's gonna pivot, but it's also gonna try and roll right here. So you need that rear to save you instead of killing you, which a dual stage foam would really help out. Okay, that suspension just settled down in the rear. And this is why I liked that extreme gearing reduction, the 3 gear with the Axe and the 2800 kV. I can just creep along. I think I put like an 11 or a 12 tooth pinion in here. So pretty low pinion, which is why I don't have a ton of wheel speed, but it's very punchy. It's good for just hopping up a ledge. And look at that, one shot at it. Just nice and careful with the line choice and tire placement. And this Capra cruised right up it. So I guess I want to kind of talk about the Capra itself. I know a lot of people don't love them, but personally, I do. I really like these cars. If you just get them tuned, and right there's a perfect example. That shock, there's no spring cup at the bottom of it, so that allows the springs to sit all the way down on the axle. It lowers your ride height. With the flat skid, you get your clearance right back. With the lower gearing reduction of the 3 gear trans, and you're off to the races. This car has really surprised me with how capable it is, and I really haven't done that much to it. It's got a good power system in it, a good servo in it, wheels and tires, and this thing just crawls. The wheelbase should be stock. I think it's like 12.5 or 12.8, something like that. All right, guys, so this climb is typically what I put people on if they don't have the right clearance for that last hard obstacle, but their car's still capable. I put them on this one, and you're right on the cliff edge, so if you lose your car, it's going for a ride. But I think this Capra should be able to walk up this one, swing that tire in at the last second, get the other front tire up, keep it on that top ledge, the driver front, just touch the rock slider. Back left's gonna push you hard into the ledge on the driver front. Yeah, just let the suspension do the work. Turn a little passenger to get that rear passenger up, and then come back full driver. There is no rock over on the back side of this, so a reverse might be necessary like it was here. And then you got to get this really hard turn down and out. The key is getting your rear as high as possible. You can even sneak your front tire down on the inside of that crack just to kind of hook and secure it in there. But if your suspension's not set up right, it'll throw you over, and you're gonna have to throttle out right here. We'll see how far we can go. Oh man, that's the cleanest I've ever done that. This Capra's really kicking some ass. I'm liking this car a lot, which is surprising because I feel like I haven't done that much to it. Usually I stretch my wheelbase, rear steer, all that stuff. Capra's right out of the box. The biggest thing is that spring mod and some good wheels and tires. That will make a huge difference on your car. One of my favorite spots on the trail just because it looks cool. Oh, maxing out the servo a little bit. That scale beadlock hardware will lock onto these rocks and it will jam up your steering. So you just kind of got to be aware of that. Particularly in V notches. Yeah. Little carousel up and out of here. Always a fun one to drive. Not challenging, just fun. So being a competition course builder, sometimes you see this obstacle with this big weird overhang and those giant holes in the rock face, and you're like, man, there's no way you could possibly drive that. Well, backing down obstacles, because you're not trying to climb them, can make the car do incredible things if you get your tire placement just right. So we need to scoot the rear end over a little bit, and we should be able to back down this nice and slow and controlled, and just let the tires come down one at a time and make contact, and then steer the other way. Now the back driver tire's secure. We got to get the back passenger tire to the next step down. Going to use the rock slider to help us down. Use our steering a little bit. Oh, we got to try this one more time. I got it off camera. I had to throttle out just a little bit at the end because it was so vertical off camera. Just nice and easy, just trying to gently ginger this thing down. There you go, let the suspension unload. There we go, the front end hooked. Should be able to let it down. There you go, see, I told you it's possible. Pretty cool, huh? These things can do incredible things when you're backing down something. You might be asking, why would I back down it instead of just driving straight down it? Well, that's because the weight balance on these cars is typically in the front. So if you're backing down, it keeps the majority of the weight and traction at the top, which is kind of where you want it to hold the car in place. Now we're just hoping these front tires can drag the rears up. I think it's gonna go. Yeah, getting that car nice and vertical. So right here, there's a hole on the driver rear. I know that I need to turn driver to help transfer the weight where I want it to get that tire to come up. And then turn back. Maybe I'm a little late on turning back. There we go. Just a little bit passenger, little driver, just wiggling my tires, and it should pop right up there. There she goes. This obstacles challenge has always been the entrance to it. From there, it's pretty much just straight. Goodbye, Capra. See if we can get some redemption on that. This one is usually a bumping obstacle. You gotta hop up it. Predictable, planted. This thing is really doing awesome. I'm liking this car a lot as is. That last obstacle's always been a luck of the draw one, and this one has always been full on hammer bump, like full throttle blitz into this thing. So from here we're lined up good. Just gonna go ahead and try and shoot it on up, maybe a little more forward, and then time to hammer. There we go. That's the only way I can get up that. I've tried with rear steer and stretched and 2.2s and stock Capras and modified Capras and comp trucks and everything in between. You have to shoot that one. It's gonna tip us over all nice and steep. Lifting front tire pretty good up here. I think it'll level out. And this cool little crossover with a pocket underneath. Dips that rear down close to it, drag and diff. And that is the end of the Risk Trail, guys. So, I hope you enjoyed the breakdown on the new axial Capra. I'm gonna leave this one kind of as is, honestly. And if I leave this one stock, then it makes it a little bit different from my 2.2-inch rear steer stretched Capra. But overall, I am having a blast with the Capra kit. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. My name is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. There are affiliate links down below where you can pick up all the upgrades for this truck as well as the kit itself, or I'll even link to the new 4-wheel steer RTR Capra, which is a super solid value. I highly recommend it if you're looking to get a rear steer car. Until next time, guys, we will see you in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.